Dealing with financial issues in a relationship. That is the topic for today. Now we know that this can cause a lot of problems. So if you are having some form of financial challenges in your relationship, let's discuss.
Yeah, definitely. And it may be that there are some of our listeners who they have mastered this issue. You've become experts.
Yes.
We're saying, let us know how you deal with it, because we want to look at this on a holistic basis. Because they do say that, financial issues or money is one of the top cause of divorces all across the world.
And they do say that money is the root
of
of all evil.
So definitely, this is one that is worth looking at and talking about. Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're a young couple just going into a relationship or a marriage. I mean, it's something that needs to be discussed. It's a discussion that needs to be had. You have to have it. You understand what I'm saying?
And so definitely from Nahesha and I, we discussed it and we realized we don't necessarily have any major issues, in our marriages with finances. But just because it's not happening, like that for us, doesn't mean it's not happening out there, because we know of people, people who are married, people who have been married for years, who are having serious issues with this particular issue.
We want to look at why is it that persons are having these struggles. We want to look at some of the things that causes people to I don't know, these roadblocks, because I'll probably call them some very big stumbling blocks in our relationships. Because guess what? As you said, it causes a lot of divorce. And I don't think something like that should really cause you to get divorced.
Yeah, and we say that because, as we said before,
it's not a challenge for us.
But when you start to examine the examples and the experience of others, you start to realize, wow.
Yeah.
And it goes back to people's personal preference and, your personality or the way you are.
It goes back to the mindset.
Yeah, definitely.
People.
And so that's when it becomes an issue. So as you said, we're looking at the different things. One of the things that we wanted to look at was something that I found very funny: financial infidelity. Yes, people.
You can cheat.
Financial infidelity. You are cheating with money in your marriage. Yes. And what this looks at is some little things. It can be done on a large scale, and it can also be done on minimal scale. And it affects almost all of us. If you find that you are not in this bracket, then I don't know, something.
No, but then probably we need to give them an example of the infidelity that they're committing.
So it starts from all the way down to you making small purchases, especially for some of us women who we go and we buy with little this and with little that behind our spouse's back, or, something that we know that probably wasn't needed at the time, and we go off and we purchase it, and we never discuss it with the partner to say this is what we're gonna do, or so forth. It starts some small things like that. So almost all of us get caught in the trap right there, and it goes all the way up to the place where people begin to lie. You start to lie about your purchases. You start to lie about assets that you have. Some people in relationships, a man or a woman may have some kind of asset somewhere that they didn't disclose with their spouse for one reason or the other. And what we're saying is that things like these start to manifest mistrust in the relationship, whether you're married or you're together, because you have some people who are in committed relationships but they're not married.
So tell me something. In my case, where I sometimes or almost all the time purchase clothes, because that's one of probably my biggest struggle, like purchasing clothes online, and then I'll hide them nicely into the closet, and when I pull them out to wear them, and my husband said to me,
where did that come from?
Where did that come from? And then I'll say something like, oh, this whole thing, I have it for a long time.
Yes, love, financial infidelity. You're cheating because not only did you hide it, which is, a form of dishonesty, you lied when he asked you where did that come from.
Technically, I didn't, because some of the times when I draw on those, materials, I mean,
you've had them for a while.
I've had them for a while, so I mean, this whole thing.
Yeah, whatever. Whether you're outright lying or you do it in a discreet way, you still lie.
Yeah.
And it's still dishonest.
I'll work on that.
Definitely. And the thing is, we all, as I said, we all get caught in little things like that.
My husband do it too. He buy one computer by accident the other day, and I don't know. I don't know. Only need to tell me how that get done.
Oh, but my Lord. Well, as I said, we all get caught in it.
Yeah.
So you just have to be mindful of certain things. And the reason why we're mentioning this, because I know some people right away are going to say, then we have to tell him everything when I buy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's because when you come together in a marriage, it's a partnership, and everything that you do, you do together, and it affects the other person. And it goes right back to the discussions that you have and the way you decide to spend your money. So if
truth is, you don't have to tell your partner that you're buying everything that you're buying, but I believe if you have to hide it, it simply means that you know that you should not have gotten it. Especially if you're planning towards something and you want your finances to be in a certain order. You want to budget. You want to be strict on your budget and stuff like that.
Right.
If you have to hide it, it means that it's something that you shouldn't have.
Never did in the budget.
Right.
That never in the
you shouldn't have gotten it in the first place.
Yes.
So there's no need for you to jump up and say, well, I don't need to tell him everything. No, you don't need to tell him everything that you're purchasing. But if you have to hide and lie about some things, it simply means that you shouldn't have bought it in the first place.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And so that is why we're saying it goes back to, the discussions that you've had.
Yeah.
We have situations where you also find that couples or one partner or the other enter into relationships with debt, some baggages, and they did not disclose this to the other person.
One can wicked, sir?
That's unfair. I think
that's
very
very
unfair and very dishonest. You understand me? You are entering into a partnership with me, a life partnership where everything becomes about us. Because once you are in a committed relationship, in a marriage especially, everything is about me and you. It's not about you alone.
So tell me, in that case, if you came in with debt, right? Why you not gonna pay it yourself, sir? How comes me get involved in that? If you come in with your...
And that's what I'm saying. You see, when we enter into this commitment, especially under the coverage of marriage, whatever you do affects me. Yes, say for example, your debt is student loan, right? You went to school and you have your student loans to pay back. When you begin to work, or maybe you were working before, and we start to work out how to split the bills and the expenses that, entails living life. When you have to pay your student loan out of your money and shant the money where I pay some kind of bill, it affects me.
That is true.
And if for some reason you fall short on money, let's say for example the person hasn't gotten a job yet, and the student loan needs to be paid. Hello, and me, it left pan because I'm the one who's working. You understand me?
Yeah.
And so when you share, your whole life like that, whatever happens to you
affects the other person.
So you have to think about things like that, especially when you have some gambling debt.
And maybe if you had discussed it from before, like we said, we could have worked it out before we got married. You get me? Say, but you hide these things and then bring...
Yeah, man, it's not right.
Me tell you, God, I'm true. Thinking about it right now, you gotta pay them, you pay them yourself.
Like do it by yourself. Me not help you. Because when it becomes known now that you knew that you had this
about
before
it,
and you did not say anything.
Dishonest.
Yeah, you caused me to now not trust you. And these are the things that we're saying. It caused mistrust in relationships. And so we're saying, no, don't do that. Tell me up front. Let me say to you, all right, you know what? I don't know how we're going to work out this in about... All right, at least I know that if it is that I'm saying a year that you are going to pay it, at least I know not to expect you to be able to cover certain things, because I know that a big chunk of your money is going to go towards paying this debt. We need to know what's happening. It's better know
going in, not knowing.
Yeah, man, definitely.
What about the persons who are misers?
Oh, Lord.
And maybe you didn't even know before you got married to that person.
Yeah.
Let's look at it that way.
There are ways you can know, especially if you are in the relationship with the person for a little while. although some people good pan hiding something, you know, because going out on dates and them something there, and you'll know when
If
the
you're
person,
stingy.
yeah, you'll know, so them not try pinch every dollar and.
Or whether you
You
know,
know?
or you don't know. What if you are married to somebody who does not like spending, and even if it's a need, what do you do?
That's a difficult one. That's a very, very difficult one, because one of the things we're saying definitely, because as we're going through, we're putting forth recommendations. We say talk about it, discuss everything financially. What happens sometimes with couples, they find that whenever issues about money come up, it causes arguments.
Shy
And
away
because
from,
of that,
or shy away from.
they shy away from it because it's going to cause a disagreement
Yeah.
and an argument. And that's not the way to go. The best way is to argue through it, talk about it, discuss it until you come to an amicable position where we are saying, okay, we're agreeing that this is how it's going to go.
Because we
if you don't
understand
do
that habits are hard to break.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so we take it in strides. Let's try a small thing today, and then maybe next month we can try something else. But it's something that we have to work on.
Definitely, because it's not worth losing your marriage and your relationship over.
Yeah.
And that's where it leads for a lot
Because
of people.
truth is, even if you should break up, you're going to go into another relationship the same way.
Yes,
It's
because
probably going to
if
cause
this
the
is
same
how you
amount of
are,
problem.
it's a part of you. And so you can't run away from it.
You can't run away
understand
from
me?
it,
You
yeah.
have to deal with it. Face it and deal with it. We're also saying, don't be too controlling and judgmental. You start to make people feel tense and feel some type of way whenever they're supposed to make a decision or to purchase something, or they have a desire for certain things. Let's say, for example, you and your husband or you and your partner are together and the person wants a particular type of car or a particular house, or you want to live a particular place, and you start to say, then I make you live there, so I will make a there so you want to live. And them house they cost this and this car cost that, and the person starts to feel like, you know, what they're doing is not something good. It's not good to do that. Don't allow anybody to feel locked in that kind of way, because guess what? Immediately, if I start to feel that, I don't want to talk to you about nothing
And
money related.
then again, it brings us back to talking about things from beforehand.
Yes.
Because if we were having these conversations where, you know, where you see yourself in 10 years
Right.
or 5 years or whatever,
So
you would
I
have
know
known
what your
that,
goals
listen,
are.
you know my goals, you know what I'm going towards. So, you know, bring them something.
And you
that's-
try to merge your goals. So we're saying compromise.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. This is a recommendation for this one. Compromise, because people are different.
Yeah.
We may be together. Like, for example, myself and my husband, you know, opposites. Opposites. I'm going
Attract.
to be
that they say.
I'm going to be the one that's gonna look for all of the fancy dancy things. And my husband is a lot more simple and is comfortable with, you know, simpler things, which is quite fine. I can't make him like the things that I like, but we have to come together somehow.
And let me tell you now, me and my husband is the same. So we have to now find a balance, because if you find
Balance
out we
the
are
thing.
the same, it simply means that we probably spend all of the money.
And not no left.
And nothing no left.
Rainy day.
One of you always step in and say, okay, babes, I like that too. But guess what?
Yes.
We have to hold off.
And that's why the discussions are important.
Very
And
important.
you compromise and you agree that, okay, this is what we're going to do. All right, let's do it this way. You talk about it until you reach a point where, yes, all right, this can work for me.
We're comfortable with
and
this.
that can work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do it that kind of way.
What about the women who are earning more
Than
than men?
Oh, my Lord.
No, this is
It's
a
a
tricky
big
one.
one, yeah.
And I think this is what caused most of the problems, maybe.
Yeah, it does
With
cause a lot of
finances.
problem. It does. It does cause a lot of problem. And my thoughts on this issue is that nowadays we find ourselves that we find that it's a little less difficult, than it would have been years gone by. Because we would have known that traditionally men are breadwinners, are considered to be breadwinners, right? But nowadays, it's more a situation where people are doing it equally.
Yeah.
And in some instances, or in a lot of cases nowadays, we find that women end up earning more than their men. How it becomes an issue is that the men are, because it's innate for them to be the leaders and the providers and the decision makers, when they find that the woman is now earning more than them, it seems as though they believe that the role is switched. And the woman is now in control and she gets to make the decisions and she wears the pants.
And let's look at it from the view of the men who are real men, who really find this problem. You get me? I say the men who really say, John Oster and me for do it, you know.
Yeah.
I feel lame, just sit back and watch my wife I get this. You have some man who will sit down out there
and they don't mind.
And them don't mind it. So I could look
at it
from the view of the men.
To be mind.
Right.
They want a woman take care of them.
Right. We are looking from the man them who are real men. Who really sit down and will say, I can't feel good for my wife I go out and I work.
Yeah, she alone. And I mean, even if your wife is working and she's in a position to make more than you, I believe nothing is wrong with that.
Nothing is wrong with that.
But you sitting down there with your arms folded and the woman going out and earning everything. No, Sam, I don't feel like that, fam.
not in this day and age.
No, but one of the things we are saying is that
but we're looking at this though, you know, from both parties working.
Right.
And there's an issue because the woman is making more money. That's where we're looking at. We're not looking at no stay-at-home dad because there is a thing as stay-at-home. And nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. We're not ruling out that. Yeah? But we're saying both parties working, but mommy bringing in most of the money.
Right.
Why is it a problem?
Because of the egos of men. Because they now feel as though the woman is taking control. The woman is going to now lead them and feel as though she's the one that gets to make the decisions and tell them what to do. The woman can... It's a strange thing because in my view, I'm saying it should not be like that because we come together, we're partners, and whatever we do, because even if you were the one making the more money, that don't mean so you have to rule and control me.
Right. And
so why me for rule and control you if it's me? You understand?
Let's also make a note that some of us women, when we're in power, when we have that edge,
we take advantage. Yep. So I'm not try
no
move away from it.
When we attack, are you attack? Are you attack? You understand?
Yes, we have a tendency as women to feel we love control, you know, we love power. It's like all of a sudden you just feel like say you can say anything and do anything because you are the one who is making the money.
And sometimes we don't know that we are saying
we don't realize.
We don't realize it, but we have to take a step back and look at it. And look how we speak to our men.
Yes, you still have to be respectful to the man. Just because you're making more money than him doesn't
change
right.
anything. It changes nothing.
To tell the man and talk to the man a certain way and make some retorts that are disrespectful or pitiful or belittle the man and make him feel some type of way because you're bringing in the bigger box. Like, no, it's not right. It's not right for you to do that. And I also want to point out that in the cases of men who they have this notion in their mind that because the woman is earning more, you know,
I'm already small.
Yes, they belittle themselves, and without the woman even doing anything, everything
down.
That she says and everything that she does, they take as an offense.
Yes, that is true. That is so true. And if
you
do that, that's on you.
Check yourself,
especially if your woman is not the controlling person.
Yeah, check yourself, man.
Check yourself. That's on you.
Because then you create an issue where there is none.
When there is none.
You create an issue where there is none. It doesn't matter who is earning more. Balance is important right across the board. It's a partnership.
At the end of the day, guys, you want the same thing. It should not matter.
You should be working towards the same thing. It should not matter
who is earning what.
I mean, I know right now some persons are looking and saying, you can't chat because, you know, they have a total different view. But I'm saying, is it worth you losing your marriage? The person that you're so in love with, all of a sudden you hate them because of money?
Because
it's not worth it.
$10 more than you.
It's not worth it. And so, because we're talking about balance and because we're talking about partnerships and making the thing equal and working together, I have this question. Do you believe couples should have joint accounts?
In all honesty, I don't have a joint account with my husband. I'm wondering if I'm odd. Right? Because I went into this thing knowing that what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. I went in that way. And so, like I was discussing with you earlier, I not even know say people have a joint account because
You don't have to.
my husband take my card, me take film card. It really no matter to me. Mind you, if you want to do a joint account, you can do it.
Yes.
You can do it.
You know, one of the things too
But maybe
that's
now
good,
that you bring up the joint account, maybe me forgot to take out one because
you don't have to, because if what you're doing is working,
it's working.
why change it? Why fix it? You understand me?
And that's another thing too. Persons going thinking that what is mine and what is yours is also mine.
Yeah, that you're too greedy.
And when you're going with that now, talk it God Almighty truth. Oh, it for work.
Yeah, I mean, I know, as you mentioned that, our pastor he's always saying that, you know, what he earns or what is his is for his family. And he doesn't mind that his wife, her money is hers. He doesn't mind because he's the type of man that believes that he should be the one to take care of his family.
And I believe that's how my
And that's
husband
nothing,
is.
and there's nothing wrong with
Nothing
that.
is wrong with that.
But you both need to be on the same page where it is concerned.
I thank the Lord, knock on board. I don't have those issues. And
True.
if you did not bring up this joint account thing,
You didn't
today,
think about
I would
it.
not. It was the furthest thing from my mind because my cards and my husband's cards, his cards. The only thing my husband could use for me is my credit card because me have to sign.
Yes, right.
But everything that I have is his.
It's not the same for a lot
And
of people.
I
Trust me.
now understand
you
that.
have people who they say split the bills them down the middle. You pay the light, me pay the water. You pay the this, me pay the that. And it causes issues sometimes because let's say, for example, for whatever reason, this month I'm unable to pay my bill that I'm supposed to pay. The next person, me not pay none. And if you don't mind, sharp the light cut off in the house.
Someone might ask me how it works where bills are concerned with seeing that we don't have a joint account where the money is coming from.
Pool together.
A lot of persons might ask that question, but I can gladly tell you how it's done. We have a budget and we know what we run every month.
Right.
We know that on a monthly basis, maybe run us X amount of money.
Right.
We'll put all of the money there, so.
And so definitely, as you mentioned, that it's important to have a budget.
It's important to have a budget.
Whether you have a joint account or you don't, it's important to
Of
have
course.
have a budget. And one of
There
the
is
other
free
things,
flow for us, free between the accounts. If I need $10,000 to get this done, it's going to be transferred to the account that I'm going to use.
right? Some people don't have it that way. They don't have it worked out. They never think about how it was gonna work out. They didn't set a plan. And so what I'm saying to you is set financial goals. If you can't work it out among yourself, if you find that you have issues, get a professional, get a financial advisor. Because some people now deal with it, could chump change with me and you work with, you know. They might deal with some big money. And
Clash.
that's when it becomes even harder.
Yes.
So guess what? Get financial advisors
Especially
involved.
if you were already established before you
Yes.
went into the marriage
Yes.
or into the relationship.
And definitely, when me go in with my good money, me, I try to protect my assets, and me, I try to make sure say me all right, because a lot of people go in, I think, into marriages and into committed relationships selfishly. You know, they have some selfish notions and some things that I think that needs to be worked out in terms of getting it out, getting rid of it. If you come together with somebody, you have to know that, listen, we're doing this together, and whatever we're doing, we need to work it out together.
I understand that if you are in a certain position financially, like you're well established, I don't know, you're superstar or something, it's best if you get financial advisors.
Yes.
Because
And you have people who...
No, remember that you don't know who is friends from who
is
just
just
try
trying to
use you.
be a
You
gold
don't know
digger.
if people that love you are gold diggers, Nataki says.
Just
So you
want your
definitely
money.
need somebody who is going to manage your money, and you signed a little paper there when you prenup.
Yes. And the thing about it is, you know, for things like that, again, it must be discussed.
Yeah.
The person must agree, say this is how it's going to work. Because otherwise, it's going to cause resentment. People are going to quarrel. People are going to fight. Things are going to go on when they go on. And then we can't agree. I mean, but I love you no more. Because we can't get over the hurdle here. So for me, you mentioned that you guys don't have a joint account. My husband and I have a joint account. And I believe that, you know, it makes it a little bit easier for us. So when the funds are pooled together, you can easily say, all right, pay that bill there, pay that. Everything just come together. You
Right.
never gotta watch who for money this so and who for money this so. I'm the type of person who, when I'm ready, I will say, so husband, where my little money there? So even if me have money, already, I still want him give me my little money. And that's just our little thing.
Yeah.
You understand me? That's our little thing. That's our little play thing. And I feel nice for knowing my husband I give me little money and whatever the case may be. But whatever it is, it must be something that you two are doing together and you agreed on and you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Trust me. So
Definitely.
I don't know.
Definitely. Do you think that a man or a woman can borrow money from their partners?
yeah, because I mean, my husband borrow money. I mean, big man thing. When my husband borrow my money, me I go back to him and say, I borrowed it, but can I get it back, please? Me I ask him back for it because him say I borrow, so I want it back. So
Listen, you see, if it's borrow, it's borrow. If
exactly. I beg. If you borrow money, I want it back.
But in all honesty, I borrow money from me, not give him back.
Yeah, we always do that. Enough time I go to my husband and say, babe, send me your money now. But usually, I think him no say, him not get that back.
Especially the amount. If it's not a large sum, you know, say possibly you not get it back.
Him not gonna come to me come say, babe, give me back my money now. So,
yeah.
you know, especially if I don't know, big money. Furthermore, the first thing, when me I borrow the money now, my teeth and my kin, so him know say him not get that back. Him know him not get back that. So, you know, him just give me the money and I know say I eat that. But I mean, I guess genuinely, if we're at that place and on that level where me genuinely, I gotta say, babes, let me have money for deal with this now. I feel like if you give back the man money or give back the woman her money, if I really borrow it, give them it back.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you know, say I have some women who thief them man money though, as we are talking about borrow. Like straight up go in at the pocket, take out the money.
Is that because the man not giving them, or you have some people just thief?
I think, well, I mean, little bit of thief in it, and some of them I just believe it's just a fun thing. I know
Fun
of this.
for thief? No, sir.
I know it sounds weird, but I know of this lady. I mean, it's fun for she just go in her husband money and just in her pocket and just take out little money and go about her business. She never bother. I mean, if him all notice that the money missing and I wonder say where it gone, she not even say nothing.
No, me not that. No, sir. I get enough money from just him handing money to me and washing him clothes, and I find money.
Well,
me get enough.
That's you. But some people are for them thing. I mean, what works for you works for you. So I don't know. But I just definitely think that money should not be allowed to be an issue that breaks up your marriage. It should not.
And I want to add to that listen, if you're in it for the long haul, and if you're in it because you really love this person and you see yourself making a future together, it shouldn't. So additional to what Nataki says, that it shouldn't be, we're saying it because if you love this person so much and you see yourself spending the rest of your life with that person, listen to me, you have too much more struggle to go deal with, to go put money to the list. You understand?
Definitely.
If you trust this person so much, that means I really belong to trust.
Yes. That's one of the biggest issues that people have, the trust thing, because okay, me I earn mine, I'm gonna know where you stash off from a back there and
hold on.
Oh, you benefit as more than me. And
as you said that, they say, and it's something that I've always heard, that women will have an account with their husband, a family account, and then they'll have an account for themselves. What do you think about that?
I mean, for me, I don't think it's an issue. If it is, that it is clear to the other person. So for me, I remember when I was about to get married and we discussed the whole joint account thing in counseling. I had 2 accounts that I had that would have been separate from the joint account. And my husband, it did seem like he never too happy about the fact that I had separate accounts otherwise. But I was looking at it and I was saying, okay, you're aware that I have these accounts. It's not like I have the money and I hide it and whatever. So I'm saying if it is that the person is aware, you guys discuss. Me know say you have one account and the money go in there, even if it's a man, because sometimes we as women, we want to scrape all of the money where the man them have, you know, to pay bills and everything and to take care of things that we want. And then the man not really have nothing for himself. I don't think that's right. I think the men, just in the same way, we want to be able to buy or things and do this or do that. The men should have, whether it's an account or some little money with them stash away where it's for their own use. It's for, spending to do whatever they want to do. I think that's how it should be.
They say that women look ahead of time, and so we save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
And I believe that because majority of the times, the man them come back and come borrow money and say, you have no money in the
Yeah,
kit,
you have a little stash where you
see
save.
back up this, the plan you come. Because a lot of times life throws things that we never did expect.
Yes.
Right?
Don't expect.
And it liquid for 6. Another little rainy day money there where you complain about us and me have one account that I from you.
And that's save way.
Even though I have an account that I from me, but it's still.
Yeah, because the thing is we shouldn't really be hiding it.
Yeah.
You understand me? That's what we're saying. So the money, the account there are the money stashed wherever it is stashed.
Or so when you give me one 10G,
yeah,
put on 2 tight.
And then some people, you say because they know you have the money put on.
That's
why sometimes some people hide it,
Yes.
Because if you know some have it, you come say, lend me your money now.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes us sometimes want to say, I keep this one side. But if you're doing it with malicious intent, where you're trying to say,
that's where the problem comes in.
That's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So I really think we should deal with our money issues and don't make the money deal with we.
Yeah. Well said. That's all
don't
we have
make the
to
money
say,
deal
basically.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We really think that people should sit down like adults. You're not children.
Yeah.
Why should these things be so hard to work out? If you don't know how to work it out, if it's too big for your work out by yourself,
get help.
Yeah.
And you might be sitting there, like we said earlier, and say it might be easy for you to say, but find what works for you.
That's
just
what we
don't make the
say.
money control you.
Yeah, don't make your money mash up your life, man. It's not worth
find
it.
what works for you.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
So if you enjoyed this little discussion, we ask that you give this video a big fat thumbs up. We ask that you share it so that other persons can hear. We ask that you subscribe. If you're here for the first time, don't leave without pressing that subscribe button, people. We're trying to make it to 200. Right?
Almost there. We just need...
So subscribe. And this audio is also available in all the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast platform you listen to. Yes, they're there. Mm-hmm. So that's it for this topic, guys. I guess
man. And remember, we're looking forward to your comments. We always like to hear from you. Thank you so much.
As usual. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you next week.